What is going on, everybody? I think we are live, and welcome into CheesyCorn Sports. I am your solo host today, Justin Adams. As you all know, Cheney bailed on me. He said he had more important stuff to do with his life, and texted me this morning and said it's over. We're done. Take on the channel. So here I am. We make sure this thing is running nice and smooth from now on, and that's not slander. It's not slander at all. But yeah, welcome in week 5, and we are doing something a little different today. So we're going to be taking some call-ins, some viewer call-ins. If y'all want to come call into the show, it's nothing major where you have to get grilled on answering questions. You don't have to know too much about fantasy, but yeah, if you just want to hop in and talk ball or ask questions or even give some of your takes on today's games, we're going to drop the link in there. I believe yep, it's in there. You'll be able to click that link, and then you should be able to pop up at the bottom, and then I can add you to the chat once I vet your images on your screen that I'm going to pull up. Okay, so nothing crazy, so don't get kicked off YouTube. All right. I have been told a cautionary tale that had been passed on viewer call-ins. So, all right, let's see. We got what's up, Derek? You recover from your BL. Oh, gotta love it. Cheney, deceit, slander, lies. Okay, all right. Quinn, who's Cheney? Ban the John guy. I'll call. Who am I calling? You're calling me, dude. I'm here. I'm the captain of the ship now, all right? So you're going to call in. You're going to talk to me, John. Not about the Phillies, though. Only about the Astros. All right. So first things first, until we get somebody in here, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to start running through the games here. So, there's Duck. We got a first caller. Derek is in the building. So let's go ahead and bring him in here. Derek.
What's up, man?
What's going on? Welcome to the pod. Appreciate you joining us.
This has been, I would say, I won't say a lifelong dream of mine, but not quite lifelong. It's been like a 2-year dream of mine.
Yeah. But close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, close enough to lifelong.
You made it. You made it big time now. All right. Go ahead and just put this in your Instagram bio,
I mean, I could die a happy man.
Once called in CheesyCorn Sports.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's up, Doug? And so you're a Saints fan. So
yeah, I claim to be.
Why don't you go ahead and give us your assessment on the Saints game today? What do you think is going to happen? All right, that's about what I thought too. Absolutely nothing. All right, Derek. I think we might have lost his signal. I don't know. But that was a great. There we go.
Oh,
all right. No, you're good.
Yeah.
I was gonna let it go until you got back. What's up?
So the Patriots. I mean, in dramatic Saints fashion, they will find a way to keep any team in the fight. It seems to be the same with all of my teams.
Yeah.
I think Christian Olave, he's gonna do pretty well today, with Derek Carr back behind center. But I mean, look at last week. Last week, their offensive coordinator was under pretty heavy fire because they couldn't do anything against the Buccaneers, like absolutely nothing.
Yeah. It's been tough sledding. It's been a lot of inconsistencies. I'm surprised that they are 1.5 point underdogs actually in that one. So, so your fantasy teams. All right, give me the rundown of your fantasy teams. How you doing?
1 second, let me get this little crying baby real quick.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got kiddo duties.
Yeah. So in one league, I am in right now. It is the non-PPR league.
Yep.
I'm in first place, typical fashion.
Oh.
With the help of y'all. And then in
Or
the
my
PPR,
signal. Sorry, go ahead.
with the PPR league, that's the dynasty league, and
Yep.
I am also in first place in that one. But I'm playing the second place guy today in the non PPR league. But he's the one. Actually, don't let me lie to you.
Okay.
I had training. Like I was in Florida for military stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and on one of the days that they had the draft, so I gave my cousin. It was his league. I gave
Yep.
him all of my login information, and he drafted the team for me.
No, that's
So
hard to claim that one.
yeah.
So you got two teams?
Yeah, I have 2 teams.
All right. Who's your fantasy MVP so far in your teams? A-Chain?
No, maybe no. I don't know. I don't know in my sleeper league. I know in the other one is in the non PPR is Tyreek.
Oh, Tyreek. Yep.
Yeah,
That'll do. It's anybody from the Dolphins offense.
but I have
Maybe.
Tyreek. I have Hill and Keenan Allen in that league.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm racking up the points in that one.
Keelan at 49 the other week.
In my sleeper, I have Devontae. He's had a couple off games, but he went off the other day. I think it was last week or the week before.
Yeah,
dude, man. Sorry, my kid just peed all over the place when I took her diaper off.
Well, I can let you go handle that, but I appreciate you calling in, man. It was good to have you on for a little bit.
If I can hop back on later whenever we're on our way to church or something like that, I'll call in.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and do that.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Take care.
Later.
All righty. All right. So first caller. All right, we got that out of the way. Okay, so now everybody's nerves should be calmed down, so you can hop in whenever. So let's start going through these matchups though here real quick. I'm gonna start running through these matchups and see what we can come up with. Let's see. John, are you calling in or what? Calling for me. I'll just go down for a nap. 30 minutes. Cool. All right. John's gonna call us after his nap. Got it. All right. So first things first, let's get into the spreads and games here. Giants at Dolphins. 12.5 point spread. First off, avoid 12.5 point spread like the plague. Yeah, we're not going to touch this one. Miami, what else is there to say about them? Best offensive football, the fastest paced offensive football, most efficient offensive football. They're juggernaut. If you have a offensive player on the Dolphins, odds are you're starting them no matter what. So, yeah, not much to say there. Giants have been completely inept. You might be able to get a lot of the garbage time points from the Giants. You have to assume they're going to be playing from behind throwing the ball. I like Wan'Dale Robinson this week. Should be full go. So I like him to get, when I say I like him, get upwards of maybe 10 to 13 points. So if you do have Wan'Dale in a deeper league, he is a good option to look at. Or, it's kind of a crapshoot with the Giants receiver core. It's been that way for a couple of years. Nobody is really asserting themselves as the guy, so to speak. So, yeah, Giants, you might want to throw in some of their guys for garbage time. But, again, it's a very, very risky about which guy's going to get the majority of the looks. So, what a loser. Can't believe he abandoned you. Yeah, me neither, man. It's tough. I know. Sometimes when you got inconsistent co-host, does that. But, I'm here to carry the show for a reason. And like I said, I'm the captain of the ship now. All right. Let's get into – appreciate you, Chris. Solid guy right there, Cheney. That's a solid friend. All right. Over to Panthers at Lions. Okay, Lions. A little bit of a hellacious injury situation. I'm not sure if I know the injury report looked terrible. They had Gibbs on there, of course. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. So this one, not really sure how I feel about this spread or what the spread's going to look like if the line moves. I think Gibbs is out. I'll have to double check. We'll have Corey pull that up a little bit. We'll, as the show goes on, you'll see at the bottom of the screen there is a injury report that's going to come across. The injury report will be updated real time. So, as things come out, as news comes out, stuff like that, just peek down there. That's going to be updated as quick as we can update it with the new information. So, but Panthers at Lions. Panthers really, Bryce Young. Good job, Panthers. Good job. I appreciate y'all trading up to go draft Bryce Young so the Texans can have C.J. Stroud. And now look at your offense, Panthers. You blamed Matt Rule. Matt Rule is now in Nebraska, and the Panthers are still terrible. So, Panthers fans, I wish I could say I feel sorry for you, but I don't. I'm a Miles Sanders apologist for some reason. I was a big Miles Sanders guy coming into the season. However, he is not really it's the offense really more than it is Miles Sanders, but he hasn't really done what I've expected of him this year. So hopefully he can get it rolling, especially in PPR leagues. But yeah, little man Bryce, not a good quarterback right now. He's injured, banged up, as you would expect from a guy who's 5'9", 180 pounds playing quarterback position in the National Football League. So Lions by 100. All right. Cheney called it, so I guess everybody go put your money on Lions minus 9.5. And if you lose your money, come back next week and tell Cheney about how you never want him on the show again, especially since he bailed on me. This happened last year too. I remember Cheney. Remember last year? I remember I even had to come on the pod and say you fell out of bed and hit your head to cover for you because you bailed him. No, I was playing. I think you're sick, but. Moving on. All right. Ravens, Steelers. Ravens minus 4.5. I have zero confidence in either of these teams right now. Lamar Jackson, locked and loaded top 10 quarterback for me, of course. Slim pickings to choose from because we had this morning game that removed Trevor Lawrence and stuff like that. But Lamar Jackson well cemented in my top 10. So you're starting Lamar. Start Andrews. Well, hold on 1 second. Let me look at the Ravens injury report here. But outside of that, your Rashad Bateman, just everything's been a little awry for the Ravens offense. It's like we keep waiting for this Ravens offense to kind of hit a stride, and they seemingly never do. So the Steelers are a tough defense. However, the Texans put 30 on them last week. So it'll be interesting to see how the Steelers defense rebounds after that butt whooping at the hands of my Texans last week, to see if the Steelers defense is legitimate, if that was a flash in the pan kind of game. Really curious to see how this is, because I know probably that game had a lot of influence on the spread here. So I don't necessarily know if the Ravens are 4.5 point favorite if that game doesn't happen. Again, I think the Texans, they played well, but the Steelers, for all intents and purposes, the 30-6, that's not indicative of how they are as a team. They're never going to be the type of team that's going to beat you by 20, but they are very good at trying to control the game and manage the game and keep it within reach and trying to win close battles. So, all right. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and run through some of the comments here. Chris is a loser who won maybe 2 games in the past 2 seasons. Chris beat me last week, I believe it was, and I'm pretty upset about that still. So I got Cooper Kupp back. So, I've been making weekly excuses without Kupp and Eckler, and I want that to end. Eckler's still out though, but yeah, Chris beat me. So Cheney, if he does that a couple more times, I might be right on your side on this. So Chris, stop beating me. Appreciate that. Lions alt spread at 19.5. You're out of your mind, dude. Dan Campbell, you love yourself some Dan Campbell. I mean, we all do, but all right. Let's go ahead and push it forward, guys. Cheney, I want to know, since you're not here for the people, I'm going to need you to give me your start and your sit of the week. All right. I'm guessing your lock of the week is Lions minus 19.5, but I want to see what your lock of the week is so we can give. Oh, wow. Look at this spread, guys. I did some wizardry here. You know, this is my long way of saying like this is an even game. No, I have no idea what I did here, but this is supposed to be Patriots minus 1.5. So my fault on that. Derek sounded very confident in the Saints here. No, Olave, of course, you're firing up Olave. Patriots, man. What do you do with the Patriots offense? My opinion, you avoid them at all costs. The Patriots, of course, like might be the most boring team I think I've ever had to watch in my life. This year's version of the Patriots might be the worst. Like, there is 0% chance you find me watching any of the Patriots game this week. Ramondre Stevenson, they're in John Quinn, Chris Cheney in that league we're all in that we started up late. That league right there, I drafted Ramondre Stevenson and Najee Harris, and I told y'all I hate those two running backs. I was going to try something different. Well, turns out I was right by hating Ramondre Stevenson. The guy has been garbage this year. I hate Patriots running backs. I'm never drafting a Patriots running back ever again, and I regret that. So if you have Ramondre Stevenson, I feel sorry for you. I have him too in one league, and I mean, unfortunately, you got to fire him up, hope for the best, but hopefully one of these weeks he's going to break out and have one of those weeks we expect. But again, Ramondre Stevenson, just not doing the job right now, not making me a happy camper. So Patriots, I'm a little bit scorned from the Patriots. Just don't feel like I've had success starting anybody on their team. So Patriots minus 1.5, Saints minus 1.5. They're both favorites, so good luck betting on that one. All right, Titans, Colts, and again, let's see if anybody is here. Okay, never mind. We're good on that. All right. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up right here instead of on the ticker. I'm going to pull up my top 10 QBs here so we can. Oh wait, we got a caller in the show real quick.
Hello,
Chris,
hello.
what's up? What's up, man?
Hey,
welcome.
You just started talking about Panthers Lions. I just wanted to highlight some things about the Carolina Panthers.
Let's hop back over there. What you got for me?
This has got to be the most dog shit run organization I've ever been a fan of.
I forget you're a fan.
Yeah, we give up our number one receiver and all of our first round picks for Bryce Young, and then we decide after we're 0-4 that we need to trade for a number one receiver for Bryce Young. And if we tank, it doesn't matter because the Bears have our pick. So there's that.
What is the pulse of Panther Nation on Bryce Young? Like, what is it like? Let's exercise patience, or is it full-blown panic? Because I know the problem in lies, when you go draft a QB early, right? And then other QBs are outperforming them. Well, all of a sudden, like, let's say CJ Stroud and Richardson are playing terrible. Maybe Bryce Young's not feeling as much pressure. Maybe the fans aren't feeling as much pressure. But when you have a guy like the way Stroud's playing right now, that gets a little angst in the fan base. So what's the pulse of the Panthers fan base there?
It's kind of split in half. You got people saying Bryce Young's a bust already, and then you got people, the side I'm on, who are like, Bryce Young was thrust into a terrible, terrible situation. Yep. Like,
very true.
Our O-line is awful. Our number one receiver this year is a 50-year-old Adam Thielen. We got Hayden Hurst, and everyone's like, Hayden Hurst is fucking godsend of a tight end. I'm like,
yeah,
bro, it's Hayden. Like, he's not that guy. Like,
it's
we
Hayden
have
Hurst.
A good young defense that's getting wasted because our offense can't stay on the field. So our defense looks bad because they're just constantly getting dragged through the mud because our offense can't stay on the field. I think Bryce Young could be a good NFL quarterback, and I wish we would have just had him on the bench, let Andy Dalton take all the hits, let Andy Dalton take all the reps, let him have his twilight year, and then when Bryce Young is developed and is in a better situation, we push him out. But we're doing what we always do, like we did with McCaffrey, Luke Kuechly, Steve Smith, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Julius Peppers. We're just wasting great talent with nothing to show for it. It's almost as bad as a team having 20 to 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterbacks and only having 2 Super Bowls to show for it, like the Green Bay Packers. So
I knew where that was going. Oh man, poor Cheney's catching strays. What's your so I remember I don't remember if it was, I think it was a couple years ago where Brian Burns, I believe Panthers had a pretty solid offer for Brian Burns with some firsts. Do you remember that? And what's your take on that overall for them passing on that? Because, my thing is Brian Burns is 25. However, in this situation, if you can get multiple first round picks when you're in a situation where you have to rebuild at many position groups as you can, you sacrifice that one position to kind of go, okay, we can go get a couple first round picks here and potentially, we may not have as heavy of a hitter as Brian Burns is at one position. However, we can have, multiple positions filled with the starters. So, with the Brian Burns thing, are you happy that they held on to Burns, or do you think that would have been a move to make?
It's so tough because right now we have, I love Brian Burns. I think he's a great defender. He is one of my favorite players on the team currently, besides Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin's not having that great of a year either. But it's at this moment. Oh, he's spitting fast. At this moment, we need the picks. We need the picks. We have no O-line. We have no receiver core. Our defense is good, but our defense isn't playing good because our offense can't stay on the field. It's simple as that. So back to what you said about C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson. I think they would be playing just as awful on this team if they were drafted to them. I think C.J. Stroud got into a good situation that nobody expected, and then Anthony Richardson got into another good situation. I think they're more talented, but I feel like they still wouldn't have been playing as well if they were drafted to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, just because for what it's worth, the Texans have been a completely inept franchise, but I don't think people understood or paid attention to a lot of the moves that, we made this offseason. We did bring in D'Amico Ryans, but people also forget that we brought in Bobby Slowick, who was the 49ers passing game coordinator. So schematically, man, having somebody from that coaching tree is huge, So that's one of the advantages that Stroud has, is he has a very creative mind when it comes to offensive game planning and passing that Bryce Young doesn't have. Typically with shorter quarterbacks, they target the sidelines. You'll look at the numbers. Majority of the time, I would say probably over 80% of the time, they're throwing to the sidelines because they can't get it over the middle of the field because they can't see. Bryce Young, the only thing that I worry about with Bryce Young is just how slight his frame is naturally, where, you look at guys like Kyler. Kyler's kind of stocky.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was stocky and was always good at not taking direct hits.
Mm-hmm.
What worries me about Bryce Young is like not only slight frame, but again, a situation, and just hoping that mentally it doesn't kill his confidence, because we've seen that happen with your guys like Trubisky, and I think that's what's happened with Fields. Personally, it's just when you're in a situation like that where it's complete ineptitude, like it's very easy to kill your confidence. So
exactly, like he's already been injured, like he had that ankle issue.
Yep.
And I'm afraid that it's going to go down the route of like David Carr back in the day, most sack quarterback. Like he was a really,
trust me, I remember that.
Yeah, he really talented, but he just kept getting demolished every single game, and it just kills that ability for you to develop a play, to stay in the pocket, to sit there hoping that somebody stays open. You just want to get out of there so you don't get hurt.
Yep.
So I get what you're saying.
And even with like people forget Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year before he didn't just get thrust in the starting position spot. You know what I'm saying? So, even it's very helpful sometimes when they can sit for a year, learn from a veteran, and they do have a good veteran presence, a veteran mind, there for him to learn from. But it's another situation where it's like Panthers fans, had he not been the starter, as soon as they would have gotten in trouble, people would have been calling for Bryce Young to come in. So I think it's one of those that they probably felt pressure. And I think the Panthers did feel a lot of pressure to get him on the field immediately. So we'll get in. I'm going to answer this question here from Nathan H. And Chris, you can put your input in too. So Zay Flowers or Christian Watson in standard? I'm going to go Christian Watson in standard even, because Christian Watson is one of those, touchdown guys. So
big play guys.
Touchdown, big play. So it's not going to be one of those things where you're going to need him to be peppered with targets. But Nathan, I'm going Christian Watson on that.
Yeah, I'd agree with Christian Watson. If it was just PPR, I'd go Zay Flowers all day. But in standard, receptions mean nothing. So
all right. And Chris, what is your take on this week? Do you have any guys started the week? Any guys that you're fading? What would give us some insight into your fantasy outlook for this week? Oh, hang on. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we can bring him back in here. Zay is a powerhouse. PPR, 8 catches, 40 yards, absolutely nothing in standard. Exactly. Yeah, Watson's that guy who's going to get you those touchdowns for sure, and the big plays. That's one of the reasons I faded Christian Watson last year. Didn't draft him in my leagues, as he was very touchdown dependent last year. But so fantasy wise, what were you going to say there?
So I had the unfortunate pleasure of having to play against DJ Moore this week. So unfortunately, I'm already 50 points behind, and I haven't even started any of my players. But what I will say is the obvious starts of the week are any Dolphins player, but I think the biggest start of the week here is Garrett Wilson. He hyper targeted in this terrible Broncos defense. And Zach Wilson got his confidence against the Super Bowl champion, and I'm hoping that it continues on. The only other one I would consider is Breece Hall. Like, he's no restrictions, and they have a terrible rush defense. So
he's actually my top 10 running backs. So
absolutely.
So I finally slid him in there because I like Breece Hall a lot this week. So I'm there with you on that. Breece Hall's my start of the week this week, actually.
And then sit of the week. You need to sit Joe Burrow every week until he recovers from his calf injury. Or was it thigh or calf? I think it was his calf. Yeah.
I think it's calf. I'll double check. But
you consider trading him away, or you sit him until he can produce, because man, he's a hindrance on a lot of people's teams that drafted him really high.
Yeah, for me with Burrow, with how high he was drafted, I think you have to just hold on to him for right now, because you do not want to sell at rock bottom where he is right now, because he's 26 years old still. So especially if it's dynasty, but still, even in other leagues, still you drafted him, and you want to wait at least till he has a breakout week even if you don't trust that going forward, wait till he has a good enough week to where you can actually sell some value, because it's really hard to sell on guys that you draft, to be top 5 at their position, and then they don't pan out, and then you're just trying to trade them for peanuts, and your team's behind the curve.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. Let me see if I can see, because a few weeks away from being healthy from his injury. So, right now it's with him not even being close. It's tough sledding, because then you're in a situation now. It's like, when is his breakout going to be? So dude, being a Burrow owner right now, it's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough.
It could be like it was, I believe, 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. The last 4 games of the season, he was a league winner. Because he wasn't that high draft pick that year. He was just another waiver wire pickup, depending on your league.
Yeah.
So, and then the last 4 games, he put up 30 points each, I believe.
Yeah.
That could be a year like this. You stash him, you wait, and then he just has this breakout end of the season.
Yeah. Interesting story, my backstory of Joe Burrow, because me and Joe Burrow go way back. Actually, not really in any cool way, but more so just the most annoying way possible, because Joe Burrow grew up a Nebraska fan. Scott Frost had just come in, and we had 4 4-star recruits, 2 true freshmen, 1 redshirt freshman, and I believe a sophomore. So 4 4-star recruits. Joe Burrow was transferring out of Ohio State as, a 3-star transfer. Joe Burrow was not LSU Joe Burrow by any stretch of the imagination, not even close. So he actually wanted to come to Nebraska. Scott Frost told him no, because we had our QB room where he wanted it. Adrian Martinez was his guy. We all saw how that went. And so we passed on Joe Burrow. And so ever since then, that's all I've heard about on Twitter when they mention Joe Burrow. So there's that connection. Then there's also Zach Taylor, who is, of course, the Bengals head coach, was a former Nebraska quarterback. So there's a couple of Nebraska ties there, but the Joe Burrow haunting me, because what could have been. Yeah. So, but I do love Joe Burrow.
He's great.
You can't not like the guy's personality. So we got to hope he comes back and is, 100%, because the Bengals are fun to watch when they're going.
Absolutely.
My strategy this year in fantasy actually worked out perfectly. This offseason, I had Tua ranked in my top 10 quarterbacks, because everybody was fading Tua because of the concussions. But, I'm sorry. I box, so I've had concussions before. So, but once they're recovered, they're recovered. So I don't know why everybody was exercising so much caution when it came to Tua.
Yeah.
I just waited on quarterback until very late in most of my leagues when I ended up grabbing him. I think I got him in 2 of my 4. But that was my whole goal, was to just, fade the draft and try to land Tua where I could get him, and late in the draft. And that's worked out so far.
That was the play, because you got Tua in the 8th, 9th, 10th round. It
was perfect.
Yeah, and you were able to stack up on your running backs and your receivers, and hopefully you didn't draft a tight end early, because tight ends have been rough this year. Yeah,
I've tried to never draft a tight end early. This year, my target was Jake Ferguson. He was my start of the week 1. I was a huge Jake Ferguson guy coming into the season. He's panned out.
If you manage to land Sam Laporta, or like you said, Jake Ferguson, or one of those guys, you're fine. You're sitting pretty. Or even Hunter Henry the first 2 weeks. He was just, he was on no one's radar.
Yep. It's one of those things. It's you don't want I didn't want Kelsey in the first round,
no.
in any league, because when he falls off, it's going to be a hard fall off. And, especially if you would have told me this offseason he was going to be dating Taylor Swift, I definitely wouldn't have drafted him. So, even more so now.
Yeah.
How about Patrick Mahomes, though, that bum?
Oh God.
Got bailed out last week. Oh my God, I hate him. I'm glad everybody else is on board with the hatred because I've been on that man since he got drafted.
I do think that the Chiefs look way worse than they have in a long time.
We're not good.
And I am a Patrick Mahomes believer, but he is not looking great this year. He just, and you're right, he got bailed out last week. His Super Bowl wasn't that impressive. If I had to pick, obviously Jalen Hurts had a way better fucking Super Bowl performance. I don't understand how he got MVP. Should have gone to Chris Jones, but
it's just a quarterback award at this point.
At this point, yeah. Like this year, I think CMC.
Yeah, it should have been Hurts.
Yeah, it should have been. Honestly, yeah, it should have been Hurts. If they could just pick any player, not just the winning team's player, it would have been Hurts. But if they had to pick someone from the Chiefs, I would have said Chris Jones. But you know, it is what it is. And like this year, for example, McCaffrey or Hill are probably going to like overproduce and still not even be like in the running for MVP.
Yeah, look at CMC right now. And it's still like, you know, not even discussion. Yeah, with Mahomes, like what people don't understand too is like Mahomes has the greatest offensive mind in the game since maybe Shanahan. If you look at the throws that he completes, those guys are schemed to be wide open. When he has to fit it in tight windows, like he'll hit one occasionally, but more often than not, it's not. I ran through his stats of last season, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know somewhere in the realm of 13 of his touchdowns came on inside the 5-yard. Touchdown passes came inside the 5-yard line. Like the dude is just, I'm not going to get on my soapbox here, but that last week pissed me off. But the Chiefs, I mean, they're not the guys this year. I'm sorry, but they're not.
They do not team anymore. They do not look like the guys to run the AFC. So it should be interesting. I think the Niners. It's the Niners are the team this year. Like, I know it's early. We're only in week 5, but man, the Niners look fucking good. And Brock Purdy looks pretty good for Mr. Irrelevant.
100%. And I'm not gonna lie. Actually, his little brother is the third string on the Nebraska too. Chubba Purdy.
Oh, what's his name?
Chubba.
Chubba Purdy.
Chubba. What a name, right?
Yeah, what a fucking name. Well, hey, man, thanks for having me on. I'll let some other people jump in. Love the show. You're the best host. Cheney's all right. And fuck the Packers. All right, man.
All right, let's go. That's what I like. That's the energy I like. All right, man. Appreciate you calling in. Thank you. All right. So line's open. So if anybody else wants to call in, and I'll be reading through your comments. Chuck Howley's the only player to win a Super Bowl MVP on a losing team. Actually, that's a very interesting note. I did not know that. And then Cheney. All right. Well, you're a little late on that. We already got him out there. He already said it. He already said his farewell. And so I hope you heard it too, because it was for you. Sorry, guys. Breakfast on the show today. Okay. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Oh, man. Well, we got a very extra special guest coming in here. Very interested to see what he has to say. John Quinn, friend of the show, fan of the show. Welcome to the show. See you later, apparently. Bye. All right. Hi. Welcome back. What's up, John? Coming out with video, too.
I don't understand why anybody would hop on without video.
Hey, listen. Derek's getting peed on over there, so I doubt he wants anybody to see that. His baby little peed on him. So, what's up, man? Welcome. Phillies fan. You know, both our teams coming out with a game 1 win.
Yeah.
Eagles. You know, they're the Eagles, I guess. You know. All right, I'll give them.
So credit. I've been saying it for the first 4 weeks. Hurts doesn't look like the Hurts from last season.
It's hard for him to repeat that, though.
I don't know if it's the new OC. I don't know if they sat him down and they were like, "Hey, you balled last year, but we want you long term. We're paying you. We need you to dial it back a little bit." he's definitely sliding more often as opposed to, hey, I'm just going to go head first with this. So I don't know where it's coming from, but he looks like he's been restrained, handcuffs slapped on him, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Did Shady just call me the kids of the bald Jason Kelsey? Okay.
Yeah, he did.
I'll take it.
I was gonna let you find that one for yourself. I wasn't gonna read it out for you, but I guess since it clicked in your head, there must be some accuracy there. You must have been.
You know what I get all the time? I'll send you the picture my sister sent me. Matt Patricia. My sister has a picture of Matt. I have
Patricia to look at the side by side.
Next to me a couple of years ago, bigger beard, and it's like, oh my God, you're baby Matt Patricia. I'm like, I hate you for this.
Because we might have to look into that here.
No.
We might have to pull that up. I need to find a bald Matt Patricia.
So I think the picture I've got like a baseball cap on. No, he's got hair, but I've got like a baseball cap on it.
Okay.
I'll send you the picture.
You're lying to us.
I'm not lying to you. I'm not.
No. I meant about you having a hat on. You're trying to act like you have hair. I don't accept that. Look, mine's holding on for dear life. All right. And I got little ears, so hats don't. I got a weird shaped head, so hats don't fit me good. So like, you should be lucky you can wear a damn hat.
I mean, I know you don't have kids yet, but I mean, when you do and you learn about Frozen, you'll learn the song "Let It Go."
I heard it. Go. My sister got married at Epcot. Like they got engaged on a Disney cruise, married at Epcot. So if there's anything Disney related, I already know Frozen, unfortunately.
Let's talk sports. I feel like we're derailing. I'm derailing this. Let's talk.
Well, welcome to the show. This is always off the rails. We're never on the rails. All right. So let's get into a little bit of your prediction for the Eagles this week and going forward the rest of the season. How are you feeling about everything? Are you feeling like the Eagles are the best team? Fantasy-wise, I want to see. How are you feeling about the Eagles, and who should we be on going forward?
So there's a problem with the Eagles when you start talking fantasy, right? Because it's either going to be Slim Reapers going off, right, Smith, or AJ, and it's going to be very situational dependent. Week 3, I was in Tampa for the Monday night game. Flew down with a couple buddies of mine, and I had several bets in on AJ. Yards, receptions, anytime TD, so forth and so on. Yep. The anytime TD was the only thing that didn't hit for me, right? I have video. Yep. I'll send you the video too. When he dropped it in the end zone, I was that close. It was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah. However, it's going to be, why did he get all the receptions? Because he had the week 2 blow up on the sideline with his best friend Hurts. Outside of that, the deep threat on the team, the steady deep threat has been Smith. Yeah, AJ gets it. He gets, these yardage plays great. But Smith has been the one who's consistently come down with deep balls.
He's your burner.
So I think it's a toss up. I think if you want a solid 10 points out of an Eagles receiver, you can take either one of them. There's no issue with that. But who's going to have that boom factor? Who's going to get you 20 plus? It's a coin toss every single week. As far as the Eagles as a whole and how they're going to do, I think today's a nice test for them, right? I mean, you're playing a team that had the biggest Super Bowl hangover of any team last year. You've got this year. I mean, they were supposed to be turds, and I mean, look at them. What are they sitting at 3-1 right now?
Yep.
You know what I mean? The Rams are doing well. I think we make it past this and we're good. Jets should be easy enough. I'm trying to look at the schedule here. I think it's the week 8 or week 9 is when the Eagles go into that stretch, that 5-week stretch. There it is on the left. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of seeing the right too a little bit.
I hate you. So the Eagles. So right down the stretch, right? You've got Dallas at home. Then you get the bye week. Then you go into Kansas City. then you have the Bills at home, Niners at home, then you go to Dallas. So those 5 games right there, that's going to dictate the Eagles season.
Yeah.
Right? Not right now. I think San Fran is going to be the biggest test. I think, you might look 1-2, San Fran Eagles, San Fran when it comes out. I mean, obviously, I'm going to favor the Eagles, much like I do the Phillies, much like I do Penn State every week.
Yep.
But, to be a realist, I'm going to say that San Fran offense. I mean, what can't they do right now?
Christian McCaffrey, how do you stop him, first off?
So when you look at the Eagles, right, like what set the Eagles apart last season? The Eagles had a quarterback that was that ideal mobile quarterback that could throw the ball because Hurts's accuracy improved between
Their
the
offense
2021 season and the 22-23, right? Like that off season vastly improved. So it's like, hey, I can throw the ball. Hey, I have a receiving core. Miles Sanders had a banner year, first Eagles running back since Shady was on the team to break 1,000 rush yards. So you've got the run game in full effect. You've got the passing game in full effect. And you've got a quarterback that plays, I don't know, like a running back when he touches the ball. You're not going to touch him. So you've got all 3 of those. Now look at what San Fran's built. Brandon Ayuk is scary good. Shout out Arizona State product, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Ayuk is scary good as a receiver.
And he started out like when Ayuk started, everybody was like, "Dang, he fell off. He's nobody." And then he just had this resurgence in San Fran. One thing I will say about the Eagles offense before you continue is what made the Eagles offense good, in my opinion, last year is they could do whatever they needed to. Like in game scripts, when they needed to run, they could dominate with the run. In game scripts, when they needed to pass, they could dominate with the pass. They could literally come out, whatever was working, they could run with that for the game plan. So it was you never knew what you were going to get. It was such a good balanced offense, and they did everything well on that side of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, and I think this year you still have it to a degree. I think the coaching is what is hurting the team right now. Just with the new OC coming in, everything like that. I like the new defensive coordinator. I think he's doing great things. They could be better, and believe me, I'm no Jonathan Gannon fan, right? Like I hated that guy when he was in the city. I want to smack him in the face if I ever run into him.
He is kind of an off-putting guy sometimes.
He's weird. Do you have that fire in your gut?
He's super weird, dude. He's a very off-putting. That's the best way to describe him.
Yeah. But I mean, when you just start looking at San Fran the way that they're built this year, right? You've got Ayuk. I'm looking at them right now. Hold on. You got CMC. You got Debo. Debo's big thing 2 seasons ago, right? Like Debo was that wide receiver running back hybrid that they were using.
Just
and
kind
he
of
didn't want to continue to do it. Yeah. He didn't want to continue to do it. And like there was a contract issue and this and that. And then it's like, okay, we'll fix this. You won't do that. They snagged CMC middle of the year last year, and it's been off to the races. What are they, like 15-1 since CMC came on the team?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's
something
ridiculous.
Stupid like that. So what I think CMC does, he disrupts, right? Like he's a disruptor in that space where, okay, hey, Brock Purdy, not necessarily the most mobile, most notable QB, but the guy can run the offense. The guy can sit there and say, okay, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then CMC disrupting the defense because, hey man, you can go to Ayuk, you can go to Debo. They got that fullback. What's his name? Jajewski. Is that
Juszczyk?
Jajewski?
I'm pretty sure like that's a slur in there somewhere.
I don't know if you see the degrees on the wall. I don't know if you see the 2 degrees on the wall, but they're in data. They're not in spelling. Okay,
I need to get my Jewish friend on here, our buddy Hebrew, to because you just said Jajewski.
Shout out one of the only teams running a fullback. Who else has a fullback? What team has a fullback that
Nebraska, Janair, and Bonner?
You know what I mean? Like the fullback coming back, making a little bit of a comeback.
Love to see
Yeah, you got CMC. It's tough because whereas Hurts was the disruptive force against defenses last year for the Eagles, it seems like CMC is now that way because of the different packages that they can roll out.
Yeah.
And it's, hey, oh no, I can't, check down. I can't. You know what? I'm just going to go to my out route CMC. I'm going to be okay. Right?
Yeah, they've really figured out how to use him very, very well. Yeah. And then last year, it was almost like, again, they knew what they had, of course, but like when you have a full offseason to implement Christian McCaffrey into a system where you have Debo, Ayuk, and then you have Brock Purdy, who like doesn't have to do too much, but what he does excellent. And like that is
he
that system is
flawlessly.
Perfect. Yeah, he just needs to be like a game manager, and he's a very, very good game manager at that. He can drop some dimes in there when he needs to. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think NFC dominance is going to come down to San Fran, Philadelphia. Listen, while I shit on the Cowboys as much as humanly possible because I hate the Cowboys, I'm going to tell you the Cowboys are built very nice.
They're good.
Dak just isn't the answer down there. I've been saying it for years. I've got friends that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that annually when the Eagles and the Cowboys play, if the Cowboys win, my entire profile gets flipped and I'm the biggest Cowboys fan in the world. And it's been happening more often than I like. But here's the deal. I tell my buddy all the time, Dak's not the answer. The guy just, I don't know, coffees for closers. Dak doesn't get any coffee, man. Like, he's not the guy to do it.
Well, my take on it is like, if not Dak, right? Like, it's so hard to come across an NFL QB, and you got to say Dak is top. I would say top 12 probably.
I'll give him that.
It's tough because like when you're in a situation right now where like you're competing against a guy like a Jalen Hurts in the division, but then the rest of the team that the Eagles have is also equally as good. Then you're in a situation where like it's helpless because you have a quarterback, but you're in a win now situation. So you can't go draft a quarterback. It's hard to go sign a free agent that's better than them. But the Cowboys are just like, it's like they have the best team that they can possibly have without the quarterback that they need to compete with some of these top quarterbacks right now. And that's a tough situation to be in because they can't go away from Dak right now. This is their window. So
yeah, but the sad thing is they're not the best team in the NFC.
Nope.
And they're not the best team in the NFC East either. So
nope. I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, and I'm still on the Eagles currently, just because I think they are. Again, last year, they've done that. They got the experience, and I think like that team, just another year with that full team under the belt, including all of the offseason, the draft, they killed the draft, the offseason, they improved the defense. Like, I think they're a good stylistic matchup for the 49ers offense. So I think if they matched up, I think the Eagles would win that just because I don't think even when the Eagles offense isn't playing well, like they're still better than majority of offense in the league. So I think I'm still leaning Eagles, but 49ers are chomping on their heels right now.
Yeah, I mean they're going to meet sometime in November, and we're going to see who walks away with that. I think that is your NFC Championship preview game right there.
Yep. Let's see what we got here. In a shitty spot with Bum Barkley and Goober Gibbs out. Had to resort to the old waiver wire. Need to start. New 2 running back starts. Breida, Cook, Hubbard, or Algier. I'm probably going to go, man, I don't like Hubbard or Breida.
Who does the Giants have today?
Dalvin Cook, bro. The Giants, they have
who they have today?
Dolphins.
Oh, no, don't do Breida.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking Cook and Algier.
Yeah, I mean Cook's gonna hawk some TDs.
The only thing about Algier is the Texans' defense has looked very good.
Stout, I would say.
Yeah.
They come across very stout.
However, that team just runs so damn much. I'm probably going Cook in Algier, me personally. What say you, John?
I like the Cook call. I don't love Hubbard just because what's Booby Miles doing? Yeah, what's Booby Miles doing down there? You know, that's the question.
I got Miles Sanders, but he's been, I mean, that offense just really hasn't done him any favors at all.
He's been,
but it's one of those that, like, right now it's weighing out who you'd start. And me personally, give me Miles Sanders of the two.
Yeah, I mean, Cook is the definitive yes, and then it's a flyer on the other three. I mean, you're probably right with Algier because, you know, they do run the ball a lot. I mean, look at how they've absolutely wasted Kyle Pitts' career, however many years into the league right now.
Yeah. So I will say Pitts, though. Right. Pitts is so young, all right? Let's not forget, right? I wouldn't trade it for Pitts in Dynasty because let's not forget, tight ends break out late in their 20s, right? Like Kelsey was damn near 30. So one thing with Pitts is situations change, and we know, like, you watch the film on him and you immediately fall in love with it again. But yeah, it's just, man, that guy cannot throw the ball. Desmond Ridder cannot throw the ball.
No, not in the least bit.
No.
But hey, I gotta roll. I gotta get
to
the older of my two children. I think there's Wreck-It Ralph or something we've got to watch. Maybe some food.
No worries, man. All right. Well, I appreciate you hopping in here, man. Best of luck to the Phils unless they play the Astros in the World Series.
Look, run it back. I want the rematch. I told you last night. I think the Stros are the best out of the AL, and you can't be the best unless you beat the best. So I want the rematch, and I want to take you down in 5.
I like that. But the only thing I'll root for over it is D-backs, so I can go to the game. But thanks, man. Appreciate you hopping on.
Later.
All right, cool. So, all right. Anybody else want to call in? Let me know. All right. Jen and Talk need 2 flexes. Addison, Boyd, Wan'Dale Robinson, pick 2. I'm going to go Addison and Wan'Dale. I don't like Boyd right now because of the situation. I mentioned Wan'Dale earlier. I like Wan'Dale this week because the Giants are probably going to be playing from behind and throwing the ball a lot. He's a PPR monster. I don't know if y'all were here last year, but Wan'Dale Robinson, before his breakout, in his first game, I said he was going to be the guy you should go get. And so I'm a Wan'Dale Robinson believer. He did play for Nebraska for a little bit, but he transferred. So there's nothing to do with that because he did leave us. But I do like Wan'Dale's talent if he can stay healthy. You know, he is a very small guy too. So if he can stay healthy, I like him. But I'm going to go Addison and Wan'Dale on that. Yes, a big shout out. Thank you to everyone who's called in so far. Made this fun. You know, again, Cheney bailed on me. He said that he didn't want to do this anymore. So I'm grieving the loss, but I'll be here next week. Cheney might try to stop in every now and then, but we're not gonna allow him if y'all don't want him on the show. But be featured on the show, just go ahead and click the link below. Once you click in here, you'll pop up at the bottom of the screen, and I'll be able to pull you in. Or Corey in the back end, Corey producer. Big shout out to him for running everything in the back end, keeping the injury reports up to date at the bottom and stuff like that. So big thank you to him too. So we got about coming up on 37 minutes until the game. So a little bit of time for y'all to call in here if you want. And don't worry, I won't grill you too hard. Let's get back into a little bit of these. I want to get back into some of these. I'm going to pull up my rankings here real quick and just run through these for you for a little bit. Let me pull these up here. Actually, I can't bring them up. Too many letters. Okay, so let me bring up these then. My top 10 running backs. All right. 1 CMC, 2 Monty, 3 Bijan, 4 Henry, 5 Josh Jacobs, 6 Devon Achane, 7 Pollard, 8 DeAndre Swift. I had to take out the little thing because it was too many characters. 9, Brees Hall, 10, Brian Robinson. Brees Hall, number 9. Like I mentioned earlier, Brees Hall is going to be my running back start of the week. He is a full participant. We know what Brees Hall is when Brees Hall is healthy. The problem is health, but he's going to be back. I expect a big game from Brees. I wanted to put him higher than this, but I'll put him at 9 for now until we see what he's going to come back with. CMC's got to be your locked and loaded number 1 after last week. Just absolutely insane, even though he's going against a tough Cowboys defense. Bijan at 3. I hope Bijan doesn't do well because he's playing against the Texans. So there's that. Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins will be in, but Treylon's out, I believe. And so Derrick Henry should get a heavy workload. Right now it doesn't. DeAndre Hopkins, man, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because his last week he dropped in routes run. I don't know if that was partially to do with maybe limiting him coming off of that hamstring injury from a couple weeks ago, but I'm not necessarily liking the pass game and the way they're kind of going away from that as much. So Derrick Henry, 29 years old. So like, I'm not a huge Derrick Henry guy, but this Titans offense is abysmal outside of Derrick Henry. So, Cheney, I don't know if I go that far, but he did watch my dog for me while I was out of town. So shout out Cheney. Be back every week. Just got roped into covering a shift this morning, last second. Do we have a fact checker? Corey, can you fact check that for me, please? Thanks. Some cheese emojis from Martin in the chat. All right. So far you got one. All right. You got one person. Nobody else do it. Swift is top 10 for me. Philly loves getting Ken Gainwell touches. Just takes away from Swift. Hopefully they taper that down more. Just stick with CF as 1. Yep. Great English. Those degrees on the wall coming through for you, buddy. Can't have cheesy corn without the cheese. Bro, we're just corn now, baby. We are just corn. I want to have a gigantic corn cob on the screen. Dude, I meant to buy a corn cob hat so we could rock the cheesy corn hats. And dude, that doesn't count. That doesn't count when you do it yourself. I was trying to start a crowd wave. Yeah, and then nobody else is doing it. Oh, man. It's you and Cheney just... All right. Let's get to my top 10 QBs here. At 1, Hurts. 2, Tua. 3, Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins, of course. I think this matchup is going to be high scoring. Kirk Cousins 3, Patrick Mahomes 4 for that reason. Lamar Jackson 5, Richardson 6, Goff 7, Stroud 8, Jordan Love 9. Cheney will probably like that. However, Jordan Love was almost defaulted onto here because I had to remove Trevor Lawrence. So Matthew Stafford. I mean, he's ahead of Matthew Stafford. Are we really happy about that? Is that a good thing? So before Cheney pops in here. All right. So before we get into anything else, I want to run through the injury report real quick right now. I don't know if there's anything, Corey, I don't know if there's anything huge right now, but if you look at the bottom, we'll run through them. Odell Beckham, ankle injury, questionable. T. Higgins is out. Of course, Javonte, questionable. Amon-Ra St. Brown, doubtful, probably out. Jahmyr Gibbs, hamstring, doubtful, probably out. Jameson Williams, yeah, the Lions, man. The Lions are decimated right now with injuries. Really, really rough go for them right now. So keep that. Oh, there goes my dog. Hold on. Gunner, stop! German Shepherds, guys. They're very loud. And he's still going. All right, so we'll get back into a little bit more of the matchups here. I'm going to try to run these as quick as I can, touch on anything fantasy-related. Titans and Colts. I talked about the Titans a little bit. No passing offense. You have to find it hard to have any confidence in their receivers. I have DeAndre Hopkins on my team. I'm starting him because I have to. But He's a solid, I think you feel good with him at wide receiver 4, but yeah, man, just really not enough volume in this offense for him to consistently get targets and consistently get points. So he's a risky play right now, but again, with the receiver room banged up the way it is right now, you probably want him in your lineup at a wide receiver 4 or like a flex spot. So Bengals at Cardinals. Josh Dobbs season, baby. Josh Dobbs is screwing up the Cardinals tank, which I like. So we're Cardinals fans right now. We're rooting for the Cardinals to win, so that way they can't get a good draft pick. You know what cracked me up all offseason? Texans traded the Cardinals for their pick to go get Will Anderson. And everybody was like, yeah, the Cardinals now are going to have the top 2 picks in the league next season. Well, how dare you, first off, assume that the Texans were going to be that bad, because I told y'all they weren't. Second off, fuck the Cardinals for that. So, yeah. Bengals -3. I'm taking the Bengals. But hoping Josh Dobbs, the baller that he is, pulls an upset. Josh Dobbs, by the way, potentially good streaming play, because the dude makes plays. Like he's a grinded out type of guy. He's not like a Kyler where he's just going to get all frustrated and whine, moan, complain. He gets out there, he makes plays. And again, he's trying to ruin the Cardinals tank. So, but I do think the Bengals will pull this one out. I don't think the Cardinals are very good. So I think the Bengals pull this one out, even with the situation being what it is with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins out, and stuff like that too. So Eagles -4 at Rams. Cup's back. So you got to think, with Cup being back and he's 100% go, no snap count according to what we're being told. So Cup is a go. You got to think Tutu Atwell is going to be the odd man out. Puka Nacua is probably going to see a reduction in targets. However, he's still going to get targeted like crazy, because it's hard not to target him coming off of, setting records for a rookie receiver. It's just absurd what he's doing right now. Dobbs is the only guy who doesn't know the Cardinals are tanking. Exactly. And so far it's been enough to, almost ruin it. So I'm hoping that continues. All right, guys. And our sponsor, GG's Seasoning. All right. Let me see if we got this up here so I can pull this up for y'all, so you can see it in all of its glory. Let's see. Oh, no. Never mind. We don't save it up here. I should have brought the bottle with me. Oh, wait. I have a bottle right here. Hold on, guys. This is not, I don't believe this is the new formula, but I do have this bottle of GG's right here. So, GG Seasoning. Hold on. There we go. All right, GG Seasoning. My buddy Matt, his wife, has created this seasoning at his shop, Senegal and Beyond. You can see senegalandbeyond.com right there. So his wife spent years concocting the seasoning. And again, the formula that they have now, I actually just went and picked some up last week before my trip to Nebraska. I picked some up for my family too. And very good. It's they increased the saltiness of it. So now I can use this without even having to put salt in there. So before it, onion powder or garlic onion powder, stuff like that. So they have black pepper, red pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, spices, thyme, basil, oregano, everything you need. And like I said, they got MSG in the new one. MSG is very good. All right. Don't let them fool you. It needs MSG to have flavor. All right. So go ahead and get over to get over to senegalbedding.com or ggseasoning.com and use CheesyCorn for 10% off at checkout. Again, my buddy Matt, huge friend of the show, wife from Senegal, made this seasoning. They have a whole lot of stuff at their shop from West Africa and stuff like that. So very good stuff. Get on over there and support him. He's a big supporter of the show. So appreciate that, guys. All right. Now we'll get back into some of the other matchups here. We were at Eagles, Rams, Chiefs at Vikings. Okay, this is the one where I expect a little bit of a shootout here. Hopefully the Vikings, the Chiefs offense hasn't looked in sync at all this year. So I do think that the Vikings pull the upset here. I think the Vikings win this game. So consider this my upset of the week. Vikings over Chiefs. Fantasy-wise, you like, of course, you got to start Kelsey. You got to start Mahomes. But Sky Moore, finding it hard to keep starting him, unfortunately. Was a big Sky Moore fan coming the season. I'm going to need him to start showing me something because there's been no consistency from the Chiefs receiver core whatsoever. There was a stat that I saw before last game. I think they showed it on the broadcast for last game. I can't remember whether it was that or last game, but it said 70 between Patrick Mahomes' touchdown passes of all the current Chiefs. 70 touchdowns have been thrown to Travis Kelce. The rest of the 9 wide receivers combined have had 30. So one player, Kelce, 40 more touchdowns than all 9 of the Chiefs receivers combined from Patrick Mahomes. So there's not a whole lot of variety there. Patrick Mahomes is very much relying on Kelce, is like I've said his whole career, and Kelce has not been, Kelce has not been dominating in the way that you usually see from him. So you got to like Pacheco. Pacheco is running like a man possessed. I swear every time that man's feet hit the ground, he's trying to push the earth downwards. The man runs so hard. So you like Pacheco. Vikings, of course. Kirk Cousins, you got to start him. Jay Jetters, you got to start him. Hawk, you got to start him. So a lot of guys to like in this game. If they're in this game, you're probably firing them up. So not a whole lot of question marks here. See the Vikings pulling it out in this game. Yeah, I think the Vikings win this game. I'm not convinced that the Chiefs are that much better of a team than the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are very good at all. But see, I don't think it's a blind squirrel finds a nut type of thing. No. The Chiefs are bad. This isn't one of those things that's like any given Sunday. All right. Let's stop giving them so much credit. Let's just pull back on it. They're not that good. No agree anytime TD. Okay, so I didn't say this, John did. So if you lay a bet on this, blame him next week. All right. Actually, you can blame Cheney next week. But yeah, Chiefs Vikings starting everybody. Jets at Broncos. Wow, this is what a matchup. This did become more interesting with the whole Zach Wilson thing, though. I don't know how the Broncos are still 2.5-point favorites. I don't know how the Broncos are favorites ever, to be honest. This might be the most abysmal team I've ever seen play outside of, the Bears maybe redeem themselves a little bit. But yeah, Broncos terrible. Jets. I actually kind of like the Jets in this one. I think Zach Wilson continues the momentum. The Broncos continue to be terrible. It's just nothing that gives you confidence in this team consistently do anything week to week. Again, the Jets, at least, Breece Hall's a full go, which is going to be very important. Zach Wilson, we'll see. Does he come off of that game with confidence, or is that enough for him because, they lost the game again? You saw him at the end having to be consoled. Is that still sticking with him? Is that one of those situations where if they win that game, then he's carrying the momentum? It's tough to know, especially with Zach Wilson, because he does seem to he doesn't have a lot of resilience. It seems like he does get really down on himself, loses confidence. So the start of this game for the Jets is going to be key. The start of this game for Zach Wilson, how he comes out in this first quarter, can he establish some kind of rhythm? I think that's going to be key. I think they just need to get behind Breece Hall, try to target him out of the backfield, make sure that Zach Wilson is either, he's either throwing it to an open guy or he is dumping it off to his checkdowns. Just try not to put Zach Wilson in too many situations where he has to really stretch the field, air it out, or try to make tight window throws. He did make some good ones last week, though. 20 minutes to game time, guys, too. So if y'all have any questions, get them in here. If you want to call into the show, go ahead and call in. Click the link, and we will bring you in. Sorry about that. I'm getting over some sickness still. Everyone knows Kelsey is Mahomes' guy. Andy knows that, too. He's finding ways to incorporate the other tight ends. Why? Like, it's not even working with Kelsey right now. It's, I feel like you're making a lot of excuses for the Chiefs right now. And I'm tired of excuses for the Chiefs. They made them all this time, I'm tired of excuses for Mahomes. Mahomes is not good, man. I mean, all right, he's good. He's good if good means 20th best quarterback in the league. That's as high as I'll give him. Press X, doubt. Yeah, I doubt everything you just said, John, about that excuse that you just made trying to implement the other tight ends. I can't stand you. Oh, see, Corey's got my back. All right. Cowboys, Niners. Actually, he may not have my back. He might be disagreeing with me. Corey confirmed. Jets at Broncos. Yeah, let's not spend too much more time. Cowboys at 49ers. What a matchup this one's going to be. This one's super exciting. Yeah. I still think the Niners pull it out. Cowboys, very, very good. I think the Cowboys keep it close. 3.5. That's tough because this could very well come down to a last-second field goal or even a backdoor cover. But I do think the Niners are the stronger unit right now. I think the only team right now that is in an argument for being better than the Niners is the Eagles, of course. So outside of that, I don't find too many teams on paper that I would pick to beat the 49ers, except the Texans. So no Kelsey, bum Chiefs. All right, cool. I figured so. Just making sure. Not making an excuse for the Chiefs. Explaining why Gray is going to see a tutty this week. Oh, okay. All right, I got you. All right. Listen, I'm sorry, dude. I'm very emotional comes to this. I'm impulsive in my responses. I hate the Chiefs. Y'all know that. Okay. I haven't been able to yell it out at work like I used to. So I got to tell anybody who will listen. Everybody else argues with me on it on my Facebook. So I need like-minded people here to just confirmation bias agree with me so I feel better about my life. Okay. All right, let's get into one second here. I'm going to get into a couple more of my starts of the week. Let me pull up my notes over here. Some stardoms and sit-ems. Okay. So actually, let me do something real quick. Okay, cool. So Texans, Falcons. I'm going to run through some of the games here, and we'll go through some of my starts and sits of the week. So we'll start at Texans, Falcons. Damn, I forgot to put that on my graphic here. Okay, or I'm sorry, put that on my card here. So Texans, Falcons. We're starting Tank Dell. I like Tank Dell this week. He didn't have a great week last week. Nico Collins went absolutely berserk. But the Falcons pass defense, they're not very efficient, but they allow the third fewest fantasy points to running backs. So you got to think that we're going to be airing the ball out a lot. It's going to be a heavy dose of, I don't think Nico's established himself as the for sure one. Of course, we saw Tank Dell, the first few weeks come out and light it up. So I like Tank Dell this week. And of course, you're starting Bijan. Panthers, Lions. Oh man. I'm a Sanders owner, so I'm not going to say sit Sanders, but it's scary. That's for sure. Montgomery, number 2 in my rankings this week. You're firing up Monty with Gibbs out, most likely. Not expected to play. I don't know if they've officially confirmed that he's out, but Gibbs probably out. You're firing up Monty 100%. He's my RB2, like I said. Titans and Colts. I think this week you're starting D-Hop. Like I said, wide receiver 3 or 4. Of course, you've got better options. Go ahead. But Treylon being injured, he's sitting out. So DeAndre Hopkins is the guy. What do they got? Westbrook and Keenan outside of that. So you're definitely going to go with D-Hop. Out, of course, you got your obvious is your Anthony Richardson and stuff like that. And then Eagles Rams. Okay. Matthew Stafford makes it into my top 10 quarterbacks. Number 10. Again, I had to replace Trevor Lawrence. So Stafford comes in at my QB 10. You're starting Stafford. You got Cutback. I know he's only had 3 touchdowns this season, but Stafford. But Cup's back. So now Puka Nacua is a number 2. I think this offense is going to really impress a lot of people this week now that Cup's back. He's such a key part of that offense, and Puka Nacua is great. He's been great this season, but Puka Nacua is the number 2 in that offense, and with Cup in there taking some of the pressure off him and being able to add another target. No disrespect to Tutu Atwell, but Tutu Atwell is not a wide receiver 2 in the NFL. So Stafford this week I really like. DeAndre Swift I like. One of the big, I think, surprise starts for me this week is going to be Rashee Rice. Okay. Rashee Rice is probably at some point in the season going to be the number 1 wide receiver in that Chiefs offense, in my opinion. He's leading in red zone targets. He's accounted for the majority, I'm not sure how much, but the majority of the pass offense for the receiver corps. And then expected fantasy points. Pulled up a number on PFF earlier. I lost it because I had to reset my computer for the show. But he is top 10 in expected fantasy points per route run. So as long as he keeps getting more and more looks, he's going to be very, very good. And then Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson has been my guy all season. Jake Ferguson, tight end for the Cowboys. They are filtering him in constantly, especially in the red zone. They are using him in many different ways. They've even handed the ball off to him, on a sweep. So Ferguson is locked and loaded top 10, potentially working his way into, top 8, top 6. So, Ferguson's he's better than Dalton Schultz. And so the sky's the limit for Ferguson in this offense. And I think for sure that they're going to go heavy to the tight ends in this game against the Niners. So, and then of course Wandale. Wandale already talked about earlier. Last week ran 32 routes, which was second amongst all Giants receivers. So you would like to see it in a bigger sample size, of course. However, we've seen when Wandale's in the lineup before how many targets he gets. So I have confidence in firing him up this week. Sorry. He is a guy who's going to get open. He's a guy in the slot who's going to, he's going to be able to sit down. He's going to be able to get you sure-handed targets or sure-handed catches. Like I said, the risk you run is him staying healthy. So, and then who am I fading this week? Kyron Williams. Sorry, Cheney. Fading Kyron Williams. Look at who they're going against. Tough matchup there. So you love Kyren Williams. He's the guy. But it looks like it's going to be an air attack for the Rams this week. So not a huge fan of Kyren Williams. He does have that upside of touchdowns and stuff like that. Of course, he's the guy. So sorry, guys. I am under the weather, so I am struggling through it here. Finally getting over it. But all right, so we got about 10 minutes to the game. Kyren is a good fade. Going to be Puka and Cup show from here on out. Yep. Damn, I'm so sorry, guys. I am coughing up a storm. But all right, well, there's about 10 minutes to go until the game start. I am starting to fade as terms of like my health goes, because I'm about to start coughing like crazy. I can't stop. So I'm going to probably hop off here with about 10 minutes to go. Get everybody can go get their lineup set and stuff like that. If we have any late questions, go ahead and get them in here. Start of the week. Oh, here we go. Cheney. Start of the week. Jordan Love. Why am I even reading this? We're off to a terrible start. Jordan Love, Cheney? That's what we're coming up with? Breece Hall, like that. Way to steal mine. That's cool. Jacoby Myers. Yikes. Okay. So Jacoby Myers. I like that, though. I have him on my bench in one league, but I'm not starting him. But I like that you have confidence, Jacoby Myers. Tight end, fuck this position. I've had enough. I feel that. I started the season with Dulcich. Then I had to trade for Pitts. But Ferguson has been on my flex a lot of the season, thanks to Kupp and Eckler being out. You think Claypool will bounce back in Miami? Man, that is tough because there's not, you're competing with Hill and Waddle and A-Chain and all these guys. There's a ton of offense to go around, but it'll be curious to see if Claypool can be a consistent guy or if he's going to be one of those boom and bust guys. But I do think Claypool is probably going to have somewhat of a resurgence there, just because even though there is, your Waddles, your Tyreeks, your A-Chains, there's plenty of offense to go around in Miami. So I don't think there's any shortage of offense. They want to run a lot of plays and they want to do them quickly. So that offense is constantly running and gunning. Sorry, I had to show on mute while I was on the phone for a minute. Then your starts. A likely story. No, I didn't give all my starts, but Breece Hall, Breece Hall being, he's a pretty easy pick. Breece Hall being full go, no snap count limitations or anything like that. So, like I said, I got him locked and loaded in my top 10. Probably will be going forward. So yeah. All right, fellas. Well, everybody who joined in, thank you. Special shout out for everybody who called into the show. And Cheney will be back next week, hopefully, if he does avail of me again. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And let's get ready to watch the games. And I will see y'all next week. Peace.